Once again, we are back to the GTX 970, the other budget king for 28 bucks. That's right, we're back here once again. Ignore the introduction picture. This is the only video I could find of it. Let's just sweep that under the rig. Whoops. Anyway, the GTX 970, guys, 2014 release. Can it do 1080p in 2024? That's literally the purpose of this video. I am extremely curious to see if it can perform like that, which will be very interesting to see. Regardless, for the benchmark suite, once again, we're using the i3-10105 with the 4.2 gigahertz, 4 cores, and 8 threads on the CPU. We're gonna hope for the best with this one, guys. Once again, we're using 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM in dual channel memory at 2667 megahertz. That's as fast as the motherboard supports. We are using an SSD for the boot drive as well as an SSD that will store all the games on it. The GTX 970 was released in 2014. What can it do 10 years later without using FSR? That is just the gist of the entire video. We're not overclocked or anything like that. We're running everything at stock speeds, and we're gonna hope for the best. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into some benchmarks. Here we are once again with all reliable Final Fantasy VII Remake at 1080p low. Will run on practically any GPU these days, man. It can really scale down quite well with these GPUs, but they only have two options. There's shadows and there's textures. You put those two to low, over 60 FPS on average at 1080p. Game looks great, all the same. You will see some muddy textures every once in a while, but hey, VRAM issues, you know? But otherwise, this will be a smooth 60 FPS experience. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake, guys. It's not the greatest port out there, but there are mods to make it even better.
Freeze! Move and we shoot!
Go ahead. That's that. Was never in doubt.
Drop the weapon!
You got this.
Yeah, what he said. You're coming with us.
Can't get surrounded. It's over. See ya. Let's go.
Next up, we have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. At 1080p on the very low preset, the game actually was handling itself quite well. Once again, this is one of the most intensive areas of the game, but it was still running at over 30 FPS on average. Hell, it was even going into the 40s and the 50s. So in certain other areas of the game, you actually will be able to play this at much higher frame rates. That is surprising. Very low on this game looks amazing still, so there is no real, because of the art style, so realistically, I put it very low. The GTX 970 proving, after all these years, still capable. Marvel Spider-Man Remastered was also a great surprise. At 1080p on the very low preset, we were hovering around 58 FPS on average, even sometimes hitting into the 60s in the game while swinging around the city, which is probably the most intensive it's ever going to get. I found that to be quite nice. The VRAM is only at 3.5 gigabytes as well, but hey, that's 3.5 gigabytes of what we have, so we're practically maxed out. But the GTX 970 does seem to be able to handle Marvel Spider-Man Remastered quite well. In fact, what I would probably do is, bump up some of the settings, put it to 30 FPS, and use FSR. But once again, the whole point of this video is to show you guys how the game performs at just native 1080p.
Better wrap this up quick and get to my real job. Looks like Yuri called in the cavalry.
Atomic Heart is on the set, and well, Atomic Heart runs fine, but the problem with Atomic Heart is stutters, a lot of stutters, man. At 1080p low, on the low preset, once again, because that's kind of the theme here, we're suffering from success, I believe. We're getting too high a frame rate here, so walking around, the stutters are very noticeable going through the game. As you can see, it's saying the average is 86 FPS. This does not feel smooth at all to play, I will tell you that right now. That frame rate is high, but this does not feel smooth. So that's the issue with Atomic Heart, as I've come to test with a bunch of different GPUs. But man, I mean, it is playable.
But this time, make sure the atom's in the picture.
Comrades, residents, and visitors to Chalamet City, Dr. Sechenov's address will begin in 10 minutes.
The future awaits. One jab and you're done.
Comrades, assemble near the Brown Lake Memorial for a tour. Learn about the history of Facility 3826. Hear about its great discoveries.
Everyone here seems so happy and content. Just like in China.
You've been to China, Comrade Major?
I've been everywhere. I mean, everywhere except for China.
Resident Evil 4 Remake also runs quite well on the system, once again at 1080p with the prioritized performance setting. That's right, we're using the lowest preset here. We've also disabled FSR once again because that leaves on ultra performance. And the game is once again averaging around 57 FPS. This is a smooth experience. Once again, the frame rate will go up as time goes on. Certain areas are a bit more demanding than others. It won't be 60 FPS the entire time, but hey, Resident Evil 4 is playable on a GTX 970, extremely playable. Looks weird on low settings too.
Anyone home?
I stand by what I said when I said Assassin's Creed Mirage is like the Assassin's Creed Rogue of 2014, bro. It's crazy. At 1080p low, once again, Assassin's Creed Mirage is doing close to 60 FPS on average. This is not demanding at all. In fact, this is less demanding than I think Valhalla is, and Odyssey. It's kind of crazy when I look at it that way, because I know those games are from years before. But the game is incredibly playable here. Once again, we're only using 11.7 gigabytes of RAM as well. This one is a solid player.
On you, best.